Uh, Good afternoon to one and all from the Internal Quality Assurance Cell. Today, we have a webinar on the topic Navigating the Art of Teaching. So, I welcome you all for this webinar. I kindly request Suchitra Magnus, Associate Professor from the Department of Physics, to introduce our chief guest. Ma'am, Suchitra ma'am.
One and all. Yeah, audible, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon to one and all present here. It's my pleasure to introduce our today's chief guest, Dr. Jabarani Evangeline. Dr. Jabarani Evangeline received a PhD degree from Anna University in the year 2020. She is currently working as an associate professor and HOD of EEE department at SNS College of Engineering at Coimbatore. She has 25 years of teaching experience, research, and administrative experience, such as head of the department, academic coordinator, board of studies member. Her research area includes special electrical machines for electric vehicles, wind energy conversion system, power electronics for PV and smart grid system, machine learning applications for special electrical machines, and soft computing techniques in power electronic application. She wrote books and one book chapter and published seven patents. She has 23 publications in national and international journals and different conferences. She received Research Excellence Award in 2022 by Institute of Scholars and many more awards. She has received Karunya short-term project grant of rupees 40,000. Thank you all. Once again, I welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Suchitra ma'am, for that introduction. Ma'am, the stage is all yours, ma'am. Over to you for presentation.
ഇതിലേക്ക് പിടിച്ചോ. ഇതിലേക്ക് வந்துச்சு.
Ma'am, you can start the session, ma'am.
or show here. Ma'am. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. கேக்குதா? வரலையாங்க மேம்? எனக்கு இங்க ஸ்கிரீன் தெரியுது, பட் குட் ஆஃப்டர்நூன். I'm glad to be part of this lecture series, Excellence in Teaching. I'm sorry for the problem. I had a network issue here in my campus. Uh, Let me start the presentation. My lecture today is on navigating the art of teaching. And in my presentation, I'll be covering about what is teaching, the difference between a teacher and a trainer, what is pedagogy, what are the cycles involved, learning cycles involved in stream, and the learning teaching approaches that is followed and proposed by people, and the types of pedagogy that is involved. And I'll be concluding with the design thinking, usage of design thinking in education. uh, Moving on, let me just say what is teaching first. So teaching, it is the active process of process in which one person shares information. One person shares information to the other, and make them to learn a particular thing, and go beyond the given level. Or you can say, in a layman definition, we can say it is a process of transferring skills from one person to other person. That we call it as teaching also. And when it comes to teaching, the other definition for teaching is learn something new. So that is a process. It is a process of interaction, and it is always a bipolar interaction. In the bipolar interaction, a teacher and the learner is involved in the interaction. We can say teaching can happen in different levels. The curriculum is involved, right? So when a teacher, like a learner, and the curriculum is involved to achieve a specified goals, then we can call it as a teaching also, and it is a tripolar process. It is a tripolar process. And we can say teaching to be to be teaching can happen in different levels. We can go with memory level. We can make students to memorize something and learn, right? That can be a memory level teaching. So when it comes to memory level teaching, there is no activity for the brain, right? Only there is no thought process involved, and their cognitive skills are not going to be improved. That is one level of learning. Okay, right? So when we see the kids, right, at the early age, right, it is when we teach them A, B, C, D and all, right, it is a memory level of teaching, right? When it comes to the second level, we can call it as an understanding level of teaching, right? So in understanding level of teaching, uh, we make the students to memorize and understand the concepts. Okay, right? So whatever the current days that we have, it is like a second level of teaching. So it is a understandable level of teaching. And the third level of teaching can be a reflective level of teaching. They memorize, they understand, they reflect in their lives also, right? That is a third level of teaching. We can call it as a reflective teaching. So these three levels of teachings are there, and normally teaching, it can be called as a continuous process, right? So automatically you're going to have a assessment, and once the assessment is done, it is going to be an iterative process, right? Till the specified goal is achieved, right? It is going to be an iterative process. And now, when you take up the teacher, right, the person who is involved in the profession of teaching, we call them as a teacher. And there is always a problem in understanding differentiating between a teacher and a trainer, right? When if you take up a teacher, the teacher teaches the concept. So whatever concept or like a concept that is that they have to teach, they teach the concept in what to say, in full form or in abstract level, they teach it. But if you take up a trainer, they impart only practical skills. That's the difference. Okay, right? And the teacher make the students to understand. The trainer makes the student to practice, right? By doing, they make them to practice. Then if you take up the teacher, the context is independent, whereas the context is specific, right? So a trainer will do a specific task, will train the students for a particular task only. So it is going to be a specific one. And if you take up the time frame, teaching is going to be a long term, unlimited, whereas like the trainer, it is going to be a short term, and we expect a very immediate outcome. And if you take up the resources, in certain cases it is self initiated for a teacher, but in the case of the trainer, it is a study materials are provided, and they work within that particular study materials. And in the case of a teacher, the tone of teaching may be critical, right, or maybe skeptical also. But in the case of a trainer, trainer cannot give critical comments, right? So the medium also, in the case of a teacher, right, through verbal communication, they teach. Whereas the case of a trainer, they use models or diagrams to make the student to understand. That's the difference. So we have seen what is teaching, what is the difference between a teacher and a trainer, right? We'll see what is pedagogy. Right, most often we confuse ourselves with the terms of teaching and pedagogy. Okay, right? Teaching is going to be in broader sense, right? It is going to be in broader sense. But in the case of pedagogy, it is going to be teaching with respect to academic subjects. With respect to academic subjects, we call it as pedagogy. Or when you involved in teaching a student, or a student of like a school going student or a college going student, then we can call that to be a pedagogy. Or when you're going to teach a specified topic, academic topic, then we can call it as a pedagogy. So that's the difference. The difference is there between pedagogy and the teaching. So when it comes to pedagogy, right, automatically the preparation, the teacher prepares the content, then it is presented and delivered, right? It is presented and delivered. Then the principles of learning, how the learners learn the topic. Then the creation of cognitive and psychological learning process is going to be initiated by the teacher. And the evaluation of learning process also, it is side by side, it is involved in the pedagogy. Right, when it comes to the STEAM, when it comes to STEAM, that is science, technology, engineering, arts, and maths. Right, we use three domains of learning. The three domains of learning are used. One is cognitive domain, second one is psychomotor domain, and third one is affective domain. And one more is also involved, that is continuous learning, like intention also is involved. So all the four domains of learning are going to be part of STEAM learning cycle. So the teacher should influence all the three learning domains, right? And the fourth learning domain is going to be taken care by the student. So like three main domains are going to be cognitive domain, affective domain, and psychomotor domain. So when you go with the cognitive domain, it is going to fully deal with the development of critical thinking skills in the student, right? So we are familiar with Bloom's taxonomy. We know about the 6 levels of Bloom's taxonomy. So the first level is knowledge level, second level is understanding, third level is apply, fourth level is analysis, fifth level is synthesis, and sixth level is evaluation, right? So I'm talking about old Bloom's level, right? So these 6 levels are dealing with the cognitive. Then affective is dealing with the attitude and the emotions of the student. And the third one is the psychomotor domain. So when you're teaching, like when it comes to psychomotor domain, how the students work on it, how the students work on the topic, right? The physical task that is assigned to, like, how to say, manipulate the concept, or to study the concept, that is going to be the psychomotor domain. So when we teach a topic, when we teach a like a concept, automatically one of the domain is going to be the main thing, right? So cognitive domain, affective domain, psychomotor domain, all the three domains are going to be considered. Okay, right? So as teachers, we should be able to associate our topic, whether the topic deals with cognitive domain, or it deals with affective domain, or it deals with the psychomotor domain. So all the three domains are going to be there. So simply we call it as a triple H. Cognitive, it deals, right, it deals with your heart, so three triple H is going to be the simple form of your cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. When it comes to teaching approaches, when you take up the old teaching approach, we call it as a whole brain learning approach, where we just motivate the students, we attend the students to learn the concept. So motivation is there for the student. So we keep the student motivated always. Then we make the student to attend the concept. Then we make the student to relate to the concept. Then we make them to think. That is that we call it as generate. And the last step is, once they learn, when they learn to think automatically, right, they can be easily evaluated, right? So we call it as MARGE, right? Motivate, attend, relate, generate, and evaluate. So these 5 steps of teaching approach, right? This 5 steps of teaching approach is, we call it as whole brain learning approach. Right, when it comes to this whole brain approach, people found that, the professors, the scientists, they found that it is not an iterative process. It is not an iterative process. So they kept on researching, and they came out with a concept called as responsive teaching, right? So when it comes to responsive teaching, all the instructional inputs are given to the students. Then once the student get the instructional inputs, they have to get involved in thinking. So what happens, we have to for activating the thinking process, the attention level of the student has to be taken care, the goals of the student has to be taken care, and we have to check out whether the student has enough knowledge, right? Enough background knowledge about the instruction, or whether they have understood that instruction. So activating the knowledge is very important. Once that thinking process is done, then we have to make them to understand the instructional pattern and work on the instructional pattern, and then practice the instructional pattern till the goal is achieved. That we call it as a responsive teaching, right? So like this responsive teaching till the goal is achieved, right? The process is going to be a feedback. It is going to be a closed loop process. So thinking, making meaning, and practicing, it is going to be a closed loop process, and the students are going to be involved, like they are going to be constantly trained till the goal is reached. That we call it as a like a responsive teaching. So like like practice, or to say, after responsive teaching also, they just under, like in 1960 when they made a survey, they understood that the critical skill of the students are more lagging. So they people start, like educationalists, they started working on the pedagogical approaches, and they came out with five approaches. One is constructivist approach. Second one is collaborative approach. Third one is in integrative approach. Fourth one is reflective approach, and fifth one is inquiry based approach. So these five approaches they came out with. Okay, right? So when it comes to constructivist approach, the teacher creates a pedagogy where the students learn through hands-on experience. So, through the hands-on experience, or through project-based learning, or through research, real-time research, they learn the concept. They learn the concept. So, in this case, when it comes to this case, all the three levels of learning domains are involved, and this will nurture the critical thinking of the student as well as the leadership skill of the student, right? So all the three all the three domains are also considered, and it will nurture the critical thinking as well as the leadership skills. When it comes to collaborative approach, it is going to be like a group learning. So students are going to be engaged as groups, right? They will work on projects. So when they work on projects, they have to build ideas and strategies to solve the problem and all. So it is going to be a joint intellectual effect, and the students will know to work as a team, will know to work as a team. They will have the strong team spirit also. The effective communication, right? So there could be an active communication between among the team members, and a strong critical creative thinking can be a strong creative thinking skills can be built with the collaborative learning, right? So here also it involves all the three domains. So when it comes to the third approach, they have like a third approach is integrative approach. When it comes to integrative approach, you the learning is going to be integrated with the real-time application. So the more practical scenarios are going to be considered. No more case studies are going to be considered in the integrative pedagogy approach, right? So this will help the student to understand better, right? The understanding is going to be much better in the case of integrative learning approach. When it comes to reflective learning approach, in reflective learning approach, there is going to be a self evaluation, right? So student is involved in learning, right? The student will undergo evaluation periodically, self-evaluation, and wherever they lag, they have to constantly improve themselves, right? And till the specified levels of learning is achieved, okay, right? So that we call it as a reflective pedagogy, and in this case, no, right, the student will develop their own self awareness, right? They will know their own like learning level, and they will try to improve themselves, and there is what to say, like self tuning is going to be involved, and that will strengthen the analytical skills of the student, right? So the student will have the time to introspect themselves, right, and learn and relearn till the what to say, a goal is achieved, okay, right? That we call it as a that we can call it as a reinforcement learning also. We can call it as reinforcement also, right? So like that is one level, right? The final level is inquiry based. So when it comes to inquiry based, teachers not only question the students but also give the challenges, right? So the reason for having ideathons, hackathons, and all, right? It is for to what to say, to nurture this inquiry based learning, right? So right, the challenges are going to be posed to the students, so the students will have ample opportunities to explore and improve their understanding, right? So that is going to be the main thing. We can move on to the next slide. Uh, so different pedagogical approaches can be uh, we can very well use it. இல்ல, slide number போடாம விட்டுட்டேன் மேம். Next slide. Next slide. lag இருக்கிறதுனால ரொம்ப கஷ்டமா இருக்கு. Uh, so when we have all these modern pedagogical approaches to go with constructivist or collaborative or all those inquiry based learning or integrative or self like a reflective approach, like we can go with design thinking in education. So design thinking can be implemented as one of the learning, one of the teaching approach, right, for education. So when we say design thinking, it is a mindset and an approach to learning, collaboration, and problem solving. So right, it is a dual, right? So the student will get a mindset to learn, and will have a structured pattern of learning, right? So that's like what to say, the teacher also will have the structured way of delivering the deliverables, and the student also will have that learning, okay, right? So it is a dual, right? So mindset also we can set up in the student, and like we can have a learning approach. Most often the students will always say max is a tough subject. So in such cases, right, we have to set the mindset of the student, right? In recent days, no, we can see the downfall of engineering, core engineering admissions coming down, right? The main thing is the mindset. So people think that when we learn computer science stream subjects, right, the whole learning is going to be very simple, right? Learning is going to be very simple. That is the main thinking of the students. So the mindset, we have to work on the mindset of the student. So the mindset main, once the mindset is clear, automatically, right, the teaching is going to be more simple, and and it is going to be a profitable one also, right? So setting up the mindset, we can have this concept of design thinking. And design thinking has been implemented in many corporates, and corporates like IBM, TCS. They have implemented design thinking in their in their companies, and they have found design thinking to be a good structure, or to say framework for attaining the goals easily, right? So this concept of design thinking can be extended for education also. And I'm like in next few slides I'll be sharing about the concept of design thinking, how it can be extended to education, right? So when it comes to this frame, like what to say, design thinking, it is a non-linear process. We can say that it is a non-linear process, and we have five stages of five stages in this design thinking process. So the first stage we call it as empathize. We call it as empathize. Then second stage is define. Third stage is ideate. Fourth stage is prototype, and fifth stage is test. When it comes to this five stages, right, all these five stages are going to be iterative stages only, right? So when the process is going to be when the process is empathized, then automatically the problem definition is going to be a problem, like it is going to be proper. And when the ideas are going to be highly refined, automatically the prototype also, right, it can reflect a proper prototype. And the output also, we can expect the output. If the output doesn't match the goal, automatically we can reiterate it, tune wherever that is possible, and make the make the goal, learning goal, or learning goal attainable, right? So that's the main thing. Okay, right? So it is going to be purely an iterative process, right? So when it comes to empathize, when it comes to empathize, what as a teacher I can empathize, it is a question. First, we should know who are our students, right? Whether our students, we should know the background of the student, right? Background of the student is very important. It is very important, very important. Uh, like uh, uh, in engineering, if you take up the core engineering streams, right? We have students from regular background, that is students who pass 12th grade and enter engineering. And we have another set of students, right, who come from polytechnic, right? So we can find a wide gap between the academic level of a regular engineering student and the polytechnic student. All right, the polytechnic student will be normally, they are good in practical skills. They are good in practical skills, whereas regular students, they excel in theoretical skills. And teaching them the subject, right? Having these two set of students hand in hand, right? It is always a tough for them when we teach subjects like maths and all. The regular students, they are accustomed to learning maths, whereas the polytechnic students, they are totally new to all the integration, differentiation, and all, right? So as a teacher, when we handle such students, we should know who the students are, who are our students, what matters to them. That is very important, right? Or I can say, right, we should know their background completely, right? We should know their background completely. Suppose if I give if I teach them max, right? If I teach them max, what they will say, right? Learning max, what will be their response for learning max? What will they do? Will they get involved in actively solving the problem, right? So all such background analysis right, we should like as a teacher we should we should empathize, right? So what the students say, what the student do, what they will think, right? All the aspect has to be considered, right? So once that empathy is done, right, then we can clearly know the student requirement, right? The student requirement is clearly known to us. When it comes to the empathy, there are different ways of doing the empathy. We can use a questionnaire, right? We can circulate a questionnaire. We can we can conduct a thematic aptitude test, TAT we can conduct, or we can circulate a questionnaire. Then we can interview the student, right? We can try to understand their problem from their shoes. Then where they find problem, right? So all those things, no, we can learn it from their from their mouth. Suppose if we don't have the opportunity to interact with the student, or we don't have direct opportunity to empathize with the student, we can try to understand we can do an empathy based on the previous performance, from the previous feedbacks we can try to empathize, right? So the empathy is going to be the whole backbone in design thinking. So when empathy is done automatically, then the teacher will know how to deliver the things properly to the student. Once the teacher empathizes with the student, they will know the clear needs and preferences, right? And they will be able to define the needs and the preferences of the student will be clearly defined. When the needs and the preferences are defined, then they will develop their own strategy, right, to deliver the content, right? So suppose if the student finds it very hard to go with the integration, right? The student, like teacher, can conduct frequent what to say, frequent small training classes, uh, make the students to come out of the fear of that topic, and make them to understand, like what to say, make them to or to have the understanding of integration in a with real time examples. So like that they can develop their own strategy. That strategy development, we can call it as a ideas, right? So this the concept can be divided into multiple segments, and make the teacher can make the student to learn all the segments one by one, and make them to attain the goal. That we call it as a idea creation. Then when it comes to the fourth level, it is the prototype. Then based on the strategies that is developed automatically, the teacher can develop their own teaching manual for the delivery, right? So that is going to be the prototype. Once when it comes to the final phase, it is going to be the testing. And in the assessment, if the specified level of learning level is achieved, then the process is it is the process is fulfilled, okay, right? Otherwise, either the prototyping has to be tuned, or the idea has to be tuned, or the second stage definition has to be tuned, or the first stage, for empathy, has to be tuned, right? So depending upon the lack, wherever the lack is there, right, there is we can have the iterative process, and we can tune that particular stage of learning, right? So this will make the teacher to attain the achievable goal. When it comes to, suppose like we'll just we may you may wonder how this design thinking could be more practical. Suppose if we pose a problem, right, problem like this to the school teachers, design a sustainable city for future generation. If such a title is given, how a science teacher can be involved, right, for this particular theme, right? So when it is given to a science teacher can think in the angle of sustainable energy, or having an eco-friendly materials, or maintaining the ecosystem, maintaining creating an balancing the ecosystem, and making the whole city into a sustainable one, right? So the perspective thinking of a science teacher can be in this angle. When we give it to a history teacher, social studies teacher, they can think about the migration pattern of that particular city. What is the governing model that is involved? What are the city planning? All those informations, a social studies teacher can work on it. When it comes to the arts teacher, right? Suppose the same problem is posed to an arts teacher. The arts teacher can visualize in a different way, right? So they can make they can come out with models and sketches, which can add beauty to the city, or which can bring the city to a colorful one, right? So visualization, for visualization, arts teacher can concentrate. When it comes to the max teacher can get involved in population projection. How the like what is going to be the budget that is incurred for the infrastructure, and what are the different resources that are needed for their development, right? So all those things, no, a max teacher can work. So one problem, right, designing a sustainable city, right, for one problem, right, when it is posed to different streams of teachers, right, each can work in different angles. That's the advantage of of this design concept of design thinking. So we just see another example. How can communities develop sustainable farming practices in changing climate conditions? So when it comes to when we allot this problem to a biology teacher can work based on the type of plant species, what are the growth conditions that are involved, what type of diseases that are possible to affect the plants, so what type of pesticides they have to spray. So a biology teacher can work in such aspects. When it comes to economics teacher can work on the market demand of crops, the pricing strategies, the economic viability of the farming and all. When it comes to environmental science, they can explore on the soil conservation, water management, what are the benefits of organic farming, and so on. So one problem when it is posed to different streams of learning, right? Each can work in a different way, in a different angle. Each can approach the same problem, right? So that's the advantage, right? So that's the advantage of design thinking. So when it comes when we implement this design thinking in the teaching, it will add the life in the classroom. It will improve the life in the classroom. That is what we see in our campus. So it will ignite the classroom with empathy. So the teacher will able to understand the students clearly. That's the main thing. And I personally testify one thing, for past 3 years, I was teaching one subject called as field theory. It's supposed to be a nightmare subject in electrical engineering. And when I got trained in design thinking, the first thing is, I implemented this concept in my own teaching. And the first thing, and when I started with my empathy, I understood the problem behind the subject. So it's purely a mathematical subject. They need to know the concepts of integral calculus. So for few classes, I spent my time reversing, I would say, revising the integral calculus, the concept of the integral calculus. And I was so that empathy part, when empathy part was done clearly, and I developed my own like a teaching strategy to deliver the content. So we'll be having different integrals, when to apply a theorem, which theorem to apply for a condition, right? So I developed my own teaching strategy there, and I was able to get around 87% of success in that. And the next year when I implemented, right, I was able to improve my percentage of success, right, by 3%, right? So I was able to be successful in in teaching field theory by using the concepts of design thinking. That's the main thing, right? So when we implement design thinking in classroom, it will ignite the life of the students. It can create ideas. So when it comes to ideas, idea building, right, we can have a brainstorming with the students also, right? So we can get more ideas from the students. That is also possible. That's the biggest advantage in design thinking. And you have the power of prototyping, right? Prototyping is also possible, right? Then we can get a instant feedback from the community itself, from the student community itself. We can get the instant feedback, and we can iterate based on the feedback that we get it. And we can have learning across the disciplines. So when it comes to interdisciplinary subjects, design thinking is going to be more appropriate. I have seen articles where people have used the concept of design thinking in framing interdisciplinary curriculum. Right, for interdisciplinary curriculum, people have used design thinking, and a few research articles are available in the net also related to it. And few say certain myths about design thinking. It is only about design, right? It is not only about design, right? It is just a brainstorming, right? They say that it is only brainstorming. It can be used only for innovation. It is a trend, and it can easily fade away, right? So many such critics criticisms we hear about design thinking. And the ripples it creates beyond the classroom is enormous. That's the main thing. That is the essence of design thinking. So right, it makes the learners, right, as an empathetic observers, right? So that's the main thing. So all the learners, when they become the empathetic observers, they become a critical thinkers, they become a problem solvers. So all the three aspects, what a corporate is, what a corporate would expect from a graduate, all will be inculcated in the student. So empathetic, the student will become an empathetic observer, right? They can work as a critical thinker. They can work in collaborative also to solve the problems. That's the main thing. And in design school Stanford, and design school Stanford, when they started practicing design thinking, they assessed two factors. One is the skill of the student, other one is the mindset of the student, right? Because when you take up design thinking, it sets not only the mindset, it makes the student to learn also. So they assessed both the factors, so skill as well as mindset was assessed. So when it comes to the skill, right, design, the students who were prepared with the design thinking skills, they were able to have more collaboration. They were very effective in their communication. The problem finding was easy for them, and they were excelling in their creative skills. So all four skills were good, right? In the case of such in such in with design thinking. So collaborative skills, communication skills, problems finding skills, and creative skills, all the four skills were enormous, right? When they assessed the mindset of the students, the confidence level of the student was very high. Students were able to learn from the failures, and they were able to be more empathetic. Then they were able to whatever ambiguity, right? They are able to come out of the ambiguity, and they are able to have a clear understanding. That's the result they were able to find out. All right. So both the surveys were giving a positive approach, positive thing. And in Stanford, design thinking is practiced, and in Singapore Technical University, Singapore University also, they are following this design thinking. As teachers, we are more involved in preparing the student, right? As graduates, as engineering profession, professionals, engineering professionals, and we send them into the society, right? So what are our focus? We have to prepare the students for workplace. We have to develop their professional skills, right? So for developing their professional skills, we have the curriculum reform. So we incorporate pedagogy, then convince the academics, then or to say, impart the academics to the student. So they are going to be the process involved for us, and the outcome is going to be the ripple effect. And with design thinking, when we what to say, make our students to learn, then automatically the end ripple effect is going to be enormous. That's the research output also. When we use design thinking for our teaching, the teacher gets different dimension, right? So they are going to do the data collection, right? The attributes, right? What are the attributes as the teacher they are going to have when we use design thinking? They are going to be involved in data collection, that is for, like, during the empathy stage. So create, explore, prepare, transform, right? Ask why, right? Why the transform is needed. So a lot of data collection is going to be part of it. Then when it comes to defining, they have to clearly define the problem is going to has to be clearly defined. So the teacher has to analyze, compute, aggregate, predict. So all the four four works, they have to do it. So all the processing, data processing is going to be there. So data analysis and data processing. Then they are like the third attribute is going to be data visualization. So reasoning, observing, monitor, and decide how it has to be, right? Then the teacher gets involved into action, right? So that's going to be the prototyping stage. So they act, they lead, influence. So that is going to be the thing. So this cycle is going to be like how to say a cyclic process. So data collection, data analysis, data visualization, and action. All the four process is going to be involved when a teacher is uses design thinking. And right when we take up the role of a teacher, they act as a facilitator. So they are involved in learning, mentoring. They act as a facilitator. So as a facilitator also they work. So there is going to be a constant contact with the student, right? The teacher will be in constant contact with the student. Then the teacher acts as a role model also, right? So when it comes to the role model, teaching role, like whatever as a teacher they do the role. Then suppose if they are into the administrative, right? That is also that role also they are going to do. Then information provider. So we can say the teacher as an information provider. They lecture, they conduct laboratory sessions. So they act as an information provider also. And the fourth role they are going to have is they are going to be the resource developer. When we say resource developer, in the ideation, like based on the strategies, the teacher has to develop their own resource material. So the study guides or the teaching material all have to be prepared, right? So in that during that period, student is going to be at distance only, right? Then teacher is going to act as a planner also, right? So the curriculum course, how the course has to be organized, curriculum planning, the course planning, lesson planning, all those things, no, they are going to be done by the teacher. So the teacher works as a planner also. Then the teacher acts as a assessor. So that is going to be the last stage, right? So the testing stage. So the curriculum, the student is going to be assessed. The student is going to be assessed for the particular course, and even the curriculum is going to be evaluated, right? So the student, the teacher plays the role of a assessor. So all these roles will satisfy the process of the design thinking. And I hope and believe the concepts that I have shared with you is of our personal experience, and the faculty who are working in SNS groups of institution. They are constantly practicing this design thinking in our teaching, in our pedagogical approaches. And whatever we are in the fourth year now, and whatever experience that we have gained, it is phenomenal. And we are we are developing our own teaching model in the campus. And wherever there is possible, the student is going to be our target, and all our approaches are human centric, that is student centric. And we have shifted from teacher centric learning to learner centric learning with the help of design thinking. Hope this lecture would have benefited you, and truly, right, learning the concepts of design thinking will help you not only in teaching, will help you in the other phases of your life also. It may be in your research, or it may be in solving your life problem also. It may be helpful, right? I thank the management of MGR University and the Department of IQAC for giving me such an excellent opportunity to share my understanding about teaching with you all. Thank you. Is there any questions?
Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
ma'am.
much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Actually, to be
Thank you,
very
sir.
honest, the chat box is just
Shivraj, sir, thank you.
started with so many messages. They all
Uh,
enjoyed your
sir,
presentation. Thank you so much, ma'am.
thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Activity-based learning is going to be part of the ideation, right? Ideation stage, we can use activity-based learning also. So any strategy, right, can be implemented in the case in ideation stage, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the wonderful
Thank
presentation.
you. Thank you for your
Uh,
opportunity, ma'am.
Thank you,
I'm
ma'am. So let
sorry,
me.
we had network issues. I couldn't join properly on time.
That's okay, ma'am. It happens all over, so that's not a thing. So let me conclude the session with the official vote of thanks. So on behalf of the Internal Quality Assurance Cell, I would like to thank our Honorable Founder Chancellor A.C. Shanmugam sir and our President Engineer ACS Arun Kumar sir for constantly supporting us and guiding us. I also take this opportunity to thank our Director IQAC Dr. Malini ma'am, our Deputy Director IQAC Subhashri ma'am, who has been always supporting us and guiding us. At this moment, I would also like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our IQAC chairperson, Vice Chancellor Dr. S. Geeta Lakshmi ma'am. Also, I would like to thank all the executives of our institution who have been very instrumental in supporting us in all our endeavors. I take this opportunity to thank our resource person. Ma'am, thank you so much, ma'am, for spending your valuable time with us and enlightening our participants. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all the IQAC members and participants for making this event a grand success. Thank you all. Thank you, ma'am. Participants, the feedback link will be posted in the chat box. Please fill the feedback from the chat box.